Good evening, everybody. Yeah, I just want to come on for a second. I don't plan on being on too long with it. A couple of days ago, I'd been watching one of Charleston's videos. I think it was one where he was addressing Melvin Farmer. Now, he had said something toward the end of the video. He was having a discussion toward the end of the video, and it was in reference to a documentary. Now, when I guess this is the beginning when I first started listening to Charleston's videos. There was a director by the name of Info Minds, and he was shooting a documentary from Giddings and beyond. And that documentary was supposed to go back and trace those individuals who were housed in the Giddings home with Charleston after Charleston had been convicted of his part in the murder of a white male at a mall about Starter Jacks. I don't know if you probably heard this story, whatever, but. Now we've been waiting. Now I myself, I can speak for myself. I had been waiting for this documentary because during the time period when I first started listening to Charleston, I pretty much went through the course of trying to find out as much as possible about him, because he'd always said Google his name, research him, or whatever. So this documentary, we had seen him going around talking to the staff at the Giddings, and his mother and other prominent figures. Pops Weasel, the Texas nigga, spoke with him as well. Now we're steadily waiting for the documentary, and I guess it's almost 2 years later. And recently, I saw his publicist, Dr. Hood, put a trailer up for the documentary, and it was supposed to be, I guess, released. If I'm correct, someone may come on later on and correct me. It was supposed to have been released June the 19th or something like that. And I think they had a plan in order to, I guess, move it up to the 25th, where Murder Payne was coming into town and doing a screening of his new movie Double Crosses. Checks and balances. Charles was going to screen Checks and Balances, and they were also going to, I don't know whether they were going to screen the whole documentary or whether they were going to announce the documentary. But let me go and just play what I heard in the on the video that he did the other day in reference to Melvin Farmer, in reference to this particular documentary and the situation with Info Minds.
You going to Dallas with Melvin? He said it was June 4th. What's today's date? Today June 9th.
It's coming up.
Today June 9th. He said June 4th. So from what I know, we ain't heard no Stop the Violence rally, nothing passing June 4th. We ain't heard none of no shit like that. Yeah.
Now, bear in mind also, then I'm just going to point this also. Now, all during the course of the time that I have been listening to Charles, and I've gotten acquainted with Charles, and there's been a handful of times where he's been associated with different people, and and those associates that he was affiliated with were seemingly I don't know if stand up is the word, or they got along. They seem to get along well, but for a few of them, after some time passes by, I don't know what may occur. I mean, we do know what occurred because the story comes out later. It always seems like for some reason or the other, and it's kind of like, I guess now they talk about the Monique situation, where they try to make it seem like everything is, that if there's problems, there's always a problem with Charleston. There's always a problem with Monique. It's got to be something with Charleston. But for someone who has witnessed and seen how these things kind of play out from where I sit, and of course I can't speak with authority because I'm not there with these people. But from what I've seen is that a lot of times they've been crossing the man. So and such is the case with Melvin Farmer. Now, I've watched some of the older videos where he and the better days with Mr. Farmer, and I'm not here to make any aspersions toward Mr. Farmer, but you know, I seen the cross. I seen Farmer crossing, and it was and I've also been privy to, just from the information I've seen in the past and to the information presently, where Mr. Farmer's been caught in quite a few lies. I guess you said more than one lie. So let me continue here. We almost there.
We had to cut Info Miles loose, man. Info Miles ain't answering the phone on the documentary, man. We've been trying to call him, reach out to him. Info Miles won't reach back. We think Wack 100 got Info Miles scared. We think Wack 100 is scared Info Miles. Info Miles called me and tried to ambush me with Wack 100. Say, what's up, Charleston? Oh, man, not too much. He said, you busy? I was on my way back. It was me and my daughter and somebody. Whoever it was, he said, hey, you busy? I said, no, what's going on? He said, man, I got somebody want to talk to you.
Now, he made a video the day after this call occurred. Now, I think, if I remember correctly, I think this might have been along the time of his birthday or something like that. And I think that, I don't know whether they went out to dinner or something like that, but let's continue.
So when he got ready to bridge me in, I could hear Wack 100 talking. I know this nigga ain't calling me with Wack on the phone. I hang up and call that nigga back. As I'm calling him back, I think to myself, well, he don't bridge me in thinking I accidentally hung up. So I hang up again. I called him back again and said, say, nigga, I don't know what you think. You think you gonna put me on the phone? Homie? Why wouldn't you tell me? So he started apologizing, saying, my bad. I'm saying, nah, homie, nigga, why would you fuck with him and he talked to you that bad on Clubhouse, my nigga? So nah. Then why wouldn't you say, look out, homie, I got...
Okay, now, another part that he didn't necessarily mention in this video, back when Charleston, for the brief time that he was on Clubhouse, what brought Charleston to Clubhouse was Info Minds had contacted Charleston, and I guess that Mr. Wack 100, I don't know whether he had wanted to have a discussion or extend an olive branch of some sort. That's when they got on the Clubhouse, and they were going back and forth on the Clubhouse, and when Mr. Wack 100 made the ridiculous assertion with ridiculous and unevidenced assertion that Charleston had been molested by a pastor. Now, I'm far from a fan of Clubhouse. I can't stand Clubhouse. The only reason I downloaded Clubhouse was because Charleston was going to be on there. To me, it's just a whole bunch of talking and monologuing and going back and forth. But this is Wack 100's kingdom, and I guess Info Minds had invited Charleston on to have a diatribe with Wack 100. Now that's the first time. Well, not the first time that Charleston fell out had issues with Wack, but the first time I seen Wack affiliated with Info Minds and then had brought Charleston into it. So let me continue here. What we got here?
I got Wack on the phone. The nigga want to talk to you about such and such. Why tell me you got somebody on the phone and then not give me the heads up? So I ain't, so I called him and confronted him about that. And ever since I called and confronted Info Miles about that, he ain't answered the phone. So he ain't been answering the phone. My publicist who had talked to him about the release of the movie, he ain't been answering the call. So, he nigga be, I don't know. I just pack fur and play fur. I just pack fur and play fur with these niggas, homie. And then, when shit go bad, I tell the truth. Yeah, I don't lie. Yeah, I tell the truth. Yeah.
I've seen this happen several times. Pack fair and play fair. When things go wrong, you just come out and tell the truth. Now the truth, somehow has a way of convicting folks to the way to respond in ways that are somewhat unorthodox, and maybe just in many ways are, by my definition and in my eyes, counter to manhood. But let's continue.
Yeah, but nah, man, so, I wasn't tripping about the nigga. I wasn't tripping about the nigga doing that. I just like, nah, homie, I ain't one of them kind of nigga. Nigga lie on me and say I'm fucking with Punk. And then me and him having a conversation on the phone. Well, I thought it'd be a good business. What kind of business deal niggas do with Wack? Name me one good business deal this nigga done. This nigga reputation and resume says he fucked over everybody. Why would...
Now, Wack 100. Now, I've just seen him as being what's the word I'm looking for? An insightful character. A gang affiliated fella. The clubhouses and things, and he seems to have he allegedly has files on people, tapes and things of that nature with evidence, which it almost seemed as if they were collected by an investigator of a law enforcement agency of some sort. But I can't say that. I can't make any aspersion on whether Mr. Wack 100 is affiliated with any law enforcement agency or not. But generally, when you consistently have the type of information that he touts that he has, I don't be on Clubhouse, but I do know they carry these clubhouses over to YouTube. But I just scroll my timeline and I see Wack 100 exposes Wack 100, blah blah blah. But yeah, let's continue.
You be fucking with it. Unless you just trying to ride that. Nah, ain't nothing. Nah, homie, why would you be doing it? And he done crossed everybody. Yeah. So nah, homie, so I guess that situation caused him, I've been texting him, I've been calling him, say, man, what's up, homie? Call me back, hit me back, my nigga. Cause we, my mind, I ain't tripping with you. I just kind of question that move. I just kind of question that move. Whereas before, when we was on Clubhouse, but the way he talked to Info Miles on Clubhouse, the way he disrespected that nigga before, all them people. Nah. So,
now, this Clubhouse thing. Now you don't need you have the ears, and I guess you have the mouths of because just about seem like everybody can get on and participate and say what they say, whether it's true or false. Now if you have the ears and the attention of so many people, and I guess your prominence is I guess as a director, I don't know anything other than InfoMind's being is someone who has a camera and who's directing and making films. Now, I don't know how I would even be unless you have unless you met this person on a personal level, had some type of personal relationship with them, had some type of bond with them previously. I'm not going to continue to associate with you if you talk funky to me in a public place like that to in a disrespectful fashion. Now Charleston heard that part. I don't know what the man said what Wack 100 said to that man, and that man he just ate it and continued to deal with him. But let's continue.
Say, Leland, you can't post no more. You gotta find somewhere else. You just type it. I hate a nigga just be typing. You can't post nowhere. Can't post no more.
Now I'm a moderator, and on the game related podcast page, and also the real Charleston White page. When you come in that page, there's a lot being said in those comments, and and for me to and for us moderators that are on there, we had to sift through the nonsense. But also in the midst of the nonsense, somebody comes in and says something that's, that bears further investigation and further attention. But, there's a little bit more of the infomine stuff that needs to be said on here. Just bear with us. Bear with me until we get to that point.
Yeah, but normally when I go to Atlanta, Infomize is a nigga I fuck with real tough. So, I'm saying, man, I done been in a situation where nigga, me and him, just, something go bad. I kind of felt like, damn, my nigga, why would you do that? And, so then Wack 100, he get on Clubhouse and say, I'm lying that he didn't call me. And, Infomize just sitting there quiet. But even my wife and my daughter heard the nigga voice because I had him on the car phone, the audio in the car phone. So even my wife said, is that who I think it is?
Now why? Now this is something that is true or false, Especially if you were a conduit, if you were a intermediary to make the phone call, and the phone call was made, then what would prevent you from just being a stand-up guy? You already have an association with Charleston. Charleston has just got finished saying that it's been situations where him and Wack had been together, him and Infominds had been together, where it might have, things could have potentially went bad, but he had the trust. He had the trust. He could confide and he could depend on Infominds to be a stand-up guy in those type of situations, in whatever situation that have occurred. So if you see that man views you as that, then all you had to do was say, well, no, Wack, I made the call. Yes, you did try to call him, but what would a reasonably minded person take from that? So let's continue.
I think it is. I said, man, why would you call me? So I called him. I had a long talk with him. I ain't one of them kind of nigga. When me and nigga fall out, me and nigga have some word disrespectful. Nah, it ain't nothing we can do. And me and that nigga got a history. And then once they reached out to Rainwater, once he called Rainwater, and then that FBI agent called Rainwater, nigga, then Rainwater called me scared. Man. It's like, we went there now, nigga. Wack 100, they went to the people. Heavily. So,
Charleston also came on and spoke about that as well. How he always suspects that Mr. Wack 100 might be very well affiliated with them folks. The Alphabet Boys or whomever. Because like I said before, everybody who's familiar with Wack 100, he's the exposure king. He has all types of documents and knows he knows who's been snitching, he knows who's been whatever. Like a perverted form of gang banging Santa Claus, so to speak, naughty or nice type shit. But yeah. So you don't just get law-abiding citizens, which even though Rainwater works with artists and things of that nature, you don't just get random calls out of the blue from the FBI. But listen to the rest.
And it's proven, man. How can that nigga get with 6ix9ine? 6ix9ine was fresh out the feds in protective custody. How can he build a relationship with that guy? How? Under what condition did 6ix9ine and Wack 100 develop a friendship where he can start doing business plays with him like that? And that man was in the federal witness protection program. When that little girl posted 6ix9ine on that balcony that one time, he moved that day. That man was in the federal witness protection program. How Wack
6ix9ine protected, and just somebody posted, just happened to see 6ix9ine outside, take a picture of him, and all of a sudden he's lifted up from where he's at. But then uh, Wack 100 is from my understanding, this 6ix9ine guy is a New York artist. So they get a West out of all the management and things of that nature in New York City, and all these labels that are in New York or whatever, and also in Los Angeles, of course. The person that they utilize is somebody who is I don't know, scandalous, as Wack 100, to be a representative of this person who just managed to get out of prison, out of confinement by the skin of his teeth, and of course dropping dime on quite a few folks. But
I don't have access to me. So no, man, y'all better stop this shit. So when Rainwater called me, then the FBI agent hit him back after I made that video. The FBI agent called him back and said, "Man, your boy Charleston went in on me." Rain told me, "Man, I'm scared. Man, I don't know who Charleston know the law back and forth, so I called him." But no, man, I was just calling.
what would provoke a federal agent just to be watching the video, just watching Charleston White videos? And if he wasn't just randomly watching that Charleston White video and happened to catch that Charleston White video, then who directed him to go and watch that video? And then also, that will provoke him to the point where he listened to it so far that he brings up Charleston White by name to Rainwater and say, "Oh, you got Charleston went in on me." These are you guys internet heroes, but let me go.
Talk to you. Man, the police ain't got no business talking to somebody now. Fuck you talking about, nigga. Yeah, y'all investigate people, putting people in jail. Man, got no business talking to a nigga. Man, nigga ain't done nothing wrong. Yeah, that nigga Rainwater one of the most law-abiding citizens in the world, man. Yeah, that nigga Rainwater don't break no law. Mo3 was the damn fool. Rainwater. Rainwater, good kid. That's right, yeah. That motherfucker FBI agent scared the shit out that boy. Scared his mama, yeah, then he holler, he just want to talk. Man, don't nobody want to talk to y'all.
Nobody want to talk to y'all at all.
Yeah. So, no. So now, man, Wack 100 fucked up. So when Infomine did that, the release of the documentary is supposed to be with the movie. When we do the movie premiere on the 19th, we supposed to do the documentary, the movie premiere, and then Murder Pain them do their movie premiere, double crossing. So now, man, the Infomine ain't been answering phone. And then we gave him all, and then I'm so clear with the nigga, we gave him all rights to the money. We can make all the money. We ain't trying to make no money out of it. He can make all the money. I said, nah, nigga, I just want you to put it out, my nigga, because I know you do good work. No, you can have all the money, nigga.
You can have all the money, nigga. Why wouldn't he put it out?
On his YouTube channel,
Why wouldn't he put on the hottest nigga in the country?
Why wouldn't he do that? Why wouldn't he stream it on Spotify, Apple? It goes to numbers. So I'm looking at the nigga saying, man, why he sitting on it? And nigga, I'm gonna do numbers. Any Brown?
Okay, so yeah, why would you sit on it? We know that by now that you should have it finished. We know that everybody talk about Charleston. Whatever YouTube channel, whatever platform he gets put on does record-breaking numbers. We could even speak on, just by perusing Infomine's YouTube channel alone. Titles with Charleston White's name in it has bought that channel, that Infomine's channel, well over 500,000 views. Now just imagine, you have the documentary. You went and shot. You put in forth your effort. You traveled down there. You went from person to person, done all these interviews, got all this information to produce this documentary, and you had well enough time to complete it. I would imagine. I'm not a movie maker or a filmmaker, but 2 years, I imagine that would be well enough time to make this documentary. But yet still hasn't been released. So it's like, it's not like you have to set up a deal where you have to set up a contract to where, I guess you could set up a contract now at this point where they say, where Charleston said, well, he don't want no money off of it, so you can protect your interests and say, well, he said I could have all the money, but the fact that you're gonna be getting all the money, and you know that this is gonna be a hot piece of work, then why not put it out? So with that being said, I'm just gonna end all this because I really just want to know, and this is the question that I'm gonna put in the title of the video. Did Wack 100 apply pressure to info minds to block the release of the Giddings and Beyond documentary? Now that's a question that the Wack 100 can answer. That's a question the info minds can answer. Mr. Charleston can answer that question. Mr. Charleston just want to put it out. He said he got to cut the man off now because he don't know how the man move now. So, maybe he underneath the thumb of Mr. Wack 100. Who knows, man? I'm just kind of like, well, damn. We've been waiting on a film. I've been promoting the film. I've been dropping links on the trailer in the chat room while he doing his lives. While Mr. Charles doing his lives. So what we gonna do now? I'm gonna play the audio for this. You can go to Info Minds and search Info Minds channel for the trailer from Giddings and Beyond trailer, because it's still there. So this is where I'm getting it from. So let me give it a play. He got commercials on his channel too.
I was just committing crimes because I like the thrill of it. Gabi and I were the founders of the almighty Latin King Nation, Latin King Queen Nation down here in this neighborhood.
It's where you first learn how to fight at, you know what I'm saying? In order to come here, you gotta know how to fight.
I spent 6.5 years behind bars. I was convicted of first-degree murder. Hit the man and blew out his right lung. He said, man, you're under arrest for murder.
I spent 18 years behind bars, man, when I committed my offense of murder.
I was housed at Giddings State Home and School.
Charleston White was, he was a Crip. He was farm-related lieutenants do his dirty work. He'll call a shot on somebody and have Dewberry put in work, and Dewberry's a pretty good-sized guy. I ain't seen you since you were little.
And like I said, I was outnumbered 60-1, so they come from every which way. Man, that nigga, that running like we coming in with a gun.
Real people that really walk these streets.
I'm telling you, shit look like it's gonna be hot, man. Info Minds. I don't know whether you gonna see this or not. I'm gonna put your name in the title. Man, work it out. Put the movie out, man. Put the documentary out. I know that it's in the best interest of Mr. Wack 100 to make Mr. Charles look as unstand up guy, as a non-10 toes down individual. He wants to throw shade on a man. For him to make up stories like reverends or child molesting him, and that in itself, man, just the truth is the truth. What's right is right and wrong is wrong, brother. From Giddings and Beyond, put the movie out, man. That's all I got, man. Nigga Nation or nothing, man. This is your guy, Mr. Nigga. Peace and love.